सुमतो प्रियतारुणितातुलनीलतनो कमलायतलोचनलोकपते विजयी भव वेङ्कटशैलपते.
To everyone, in this discussion, we are going to analyze the poem 6 on Lord Sri Venkateswara's mystical powers. Today, mainly the discussion deals with the Lord Venkateswara's as Bhava Roga Vaidya, that is the healer of worldly sufferings. We can have an in-depth analysis of how Lord Venkateswara embodies the healing power. Here, an attempt has been made to look into the aspects of honey's sacredness in different civilizations, that is Egyptian culture, Greek culture. The poem here gives us a deep in-depth analysis how honey plays a important role in almost all the civilizations in the world. Now let us go in depth into the analysis of this poem. In sacred rites where wisdom gleams, honey is the food of the gods' bright stream. In every drop there lies a cure for the body and soul, a love so pure. This beautiful verse captures the essence of honey as a symbol of divine wisdom, healing and love, reflecting its profound significance in spiritual, physical, emotional realms. To fully appreciate its meaning, let us explore its symbolism, connection to sacred rites and universal truths it conveys. Analysis of the poem 6, Lord Venkateswara as Bhava Roga Vaidya, the healing of worldly sufferings, embodies healing power. Honey has held a sacred place in the spiritual traditions of many ancient cultures, often regarded as a divine substance that embodies purity, wisdom, healing and love. Its golden hue, sweetness and healing properties have made it powerful symbol of divine grace and spiritual enlightenment throughout history. From Greek mythology, ambrosia to Amrita of Hinduism and Mead of Poetry in Norse legends, honey has been seen as a food of the gods, representing immortality and divine blessings. Honey, often described as the food of gods, carries profound symbolism across ancient cultures and spiritual traditions. It is revered not only for its sweetness but also for its healing properties, both physical and spiritual. In Hindu philosophy, Lord Venkateswara is worshipped as Bhava Roga Vaidya, the divine healer who alleviates the sufferings of devotees caught in the cycle of birth, death and worldly pains, that is Samsara. Just as honey purifies, nourishes and heals, so does Lord Sri Venkateswara, whose divine grace provides solace, wisdom and liberation for material afflictions. By exploring the symbolic connections between honey and divine wisdom across cultures, we can better understand how this sacred substance reflects the compassionate and healing nature of Lord Sri Venkateswara. The first line of the poem, in sacred rites where the wisdom gleams. This line introduces the concept of honey as a divine substance central to sacred ritual and spiritual practices, emphasizing its role in manifesting higher wisdom. Sacred rites and honey. Honey in rituals. Across many cultures and religions, honey has been used in rituals to honor the divine. It's considered pure, untainted, and symbolic celestial blessings. For instance, in Hinduism, honey madhu is offered to deities in the Panchamrita, a mixture of 5 sacred substances. In ancient Egypt, honey was used in offering to gods and prophets to signify eternal life. In Christianity, honey is associated with spiritual abundance and divine promise as referenced in the Bible, land flowing with milk and honey. Wisdom through honey. The phrase where wisdom gleams suggests that honey is not just a physical substance but also a representation of divine knowledge, enlightenment and insight. Its sweetness symbolizes the joy of understanding spiritual truths. Connection to spiritual enlightenment. Honey, derived from nature, represents the interconnectedness of all things. It is product of collective efforts, that is from bees, harmony from flowers and pollinators, and patience, that is time to produce. This interconnectedness mirrors the principles of wisdom found in sacred teachings. One line of the poem, honey is the food of the gods, bright dreams. This line emphasizes honey's divine association, portrayed it as a sustenance for the gods themselves, reflecting their purity, immortality, and aspiration. Honey as a food of the gods. Mythological connection. In Greek mythology, ambrosia and nectar, often associated with honey, were the exclusively food of the Olympian gods, granting them immortality and eternal youth. In Hindu mythology, honey appears as an offering in celestial events like the churning of the ocean, that is Samudra Madhana, where it symbolizes divine nectar, that is Amrita, that grants immortality. In Norse mythology, mead, a drink made from honey, was considered a gift from the gods, offering wisdom and poetic inspirations. God's bright dreams. This phrase suggests that honey is more than a sustenance. It is tied to divine creativity, purpose, and harmony. It represents the perfection of nature and the God's vision of a balanced and beautiful world. Symbol of divine perfection. Honey's natural creation process transforming floral nectar into golden, life-sustaining substance is akin to the God's ability to transform chaos into order. It symbolizes how divine dreams manifest a tangible blessings for humanity. Line 3 of the poem, in every drop there lies a cure. This line focuses on honey's medicinal and spiritual healing properties, reinforcing its role as a sacred and life-giving substance. Healing properties of honey. Physical healing. Honey has been used in traditional medicines for centuries due to its antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties. It is known to treat wounds and burns by promoting faster healing, soothe sore throats, and alleviate digestive issues, act as a natural energy booster. Spiritual and emotional healing. Honey is a metaphor for divine grace, which soothes the soul, heals emotional wounds, and fosters inner peace. In spiritual text, honey often symbolizes the sweetness of divine love and wisdom that nourishes the human spirit. Honey as a universal cure, symbol of wholeness. The idea that in every drop there lies a cure reflects honey's holistic nature. A small amount contains immense potency, mirroring the idea that even a little divine grace can transform one's life. Unity of body and soul. Honey bridges the physical and spiritual realms, offering benefits that heal with the tangible body and the intangible spirit. Line of the poem, for the body and the soul, a love so pure. This line encapsulates honey as a symbol of divine love that nourishes and uplifts both the physical and spiritual aspects of life. Nourishment for the body. Honey as a natural and unprocessed food represents substance in its purest form. It provides energy, vitality, and health, symbolizing the God's care for humanities as well-beings. Nourishment for the soul. Divine love. The sweetness of honey is a reflection of the unconditional love of the divine. Just as honey nourishes the body, divine love nurtures the soul, bringing peace, joy, and fulfillment. Metaphor for spiritual growth. Honey collected from flowers and transformed by bees symbolizes the process of spiritual refinement. Just as nectar becomes honey, the soul evolves through divine grace and life's experiences. Purity of love. The phrase, a love so pure, highlights the untainted and selfless nature of divine love. Honey created without harm reflects the purity reminding us of the God's unconditional care. Now let us interpret the honey with the broader interpretation of and symbolism with different cultures. Honey is often seen as a bridge between the mortal and divine realms. Its presence in sacred rites signifies humanity, connection to the gods and spiritual truths they represent. A call to gratitude. The verse inspires gratitude for the gifts of nature and divinity. Honey's creation process involves collective efforts and harmony, teaching us to appreciate life's interdependence and the blessings it brings. Life's sweetness and challenges. While honey symbolizes sweetness, its production involves a lot of work and cooperation. This duality mirrors life as challenges and rewards, reminding us to embrace both the grace and the gratitude. Eternal truths encoded in nature. Honey's golden hue, sweetness, and healing properties reflects deeper spiritual truths about balance, harmony, and divine care. It serves as a reminder of the God's presence in everyday life. Now let us look into the aspects of honey in mythology and its connection to Lord Sri Venkateswara. In Greek mythology, ambrosia and honey of the gods. In Greek mythology, ambrosia and nectar, often associated with honey, were the food of the gods. On Mount Olympus, they confirmed immortality and divine vitality, representing the ultimate sustenance of life and enlightenment. The word ambrosia itself means immortal. Hindu mythology and Samudra Mantana and Amrita. In Hindu Samudra Mantana, that is churning of the ocean, the gods and demons churned the cosmic ocean to obtain Amrita, that is nectar of immortality. Honey, often equated with Amrita, emerged as a divine elixir that could grant eternal life and wisdom. Norse mythology, Mead of Poetry. The Norse mythology, the Mead of Poetry was a magical honey-based drink that granted wisdom and poetic inspiration. It was said to be a gift from gods, reserved for those who chosen spread divine truths through speech and song. Symbolic interpretations of honey in worship. Honey as a divine wisdom. Honey's golden hue and sweetness reflects the essence of divine wisdom, just as the teachings of Lord Sri Venkateswara guide devotees on the path of righteousness. The golden color is often linked with the spiritual radiance emanating from the divine form of Lord Sri Venkateswara. For example, Lord Venkateswara's Suprabhatam begins the day with a sacred verse that brings the divine knowledge, much like the golden drops of honey brings nourishment and enlightenment to the soul. Honey as a healer and purifier. Honey's natural antibacterial properties symbolizes the Lord's ability to heal both physical and spiritual ailments. In Hindu rituals, honey is used during Abhishekam, sacred bathing, to cleanse the deity and the devotee's spirit. In most of the Hindu temples, they perform the Dhanvantari Homam, which is also performed in Tirumala temple, often involves honey as a sacred offering, signifying the healing aspect of divine blessings. Lord Sri Venkateswara as Bhava Roga Vaidya, the healer of the worldly sufferings, embodies this healing's power. One of the best examples of Lord Venkateswara's Ashirvada is performing Bhava Roga Vaidya during the period of Corona, where Tirumala temple Bhava Roga Vaidya Homam was performed to protect all the human populations from the world. Honey is a divine love and compassion. Honey's sweetness represents the divine love showered upon devotees. Sri Venkateswara is known as Venkataramana, the compassionate Lord who grants boons to his devotees irrespective of their backgrounds. When the devotee receives Panchamrita Prasada after darshan of Lord Sri Venkateswara, the sweetness reminds them the boundless compassion and mercy the Lord offers to all beings. Honey and Lord Sri Venkateswara's a unified symbolism. Just as honey embodies divine wisdom in mythologies, Lord Venkateswara's teachings seen through ancient texts provide spiritual enlightenment. Honey's healing properties mirrors the Lord's role as a divine healer, protecting devotees from both worldly afflictions and spiritual ignorance. Divine love. Honey's sweetness mirrors the infinite love Sri Venkateswara has for his devotees, reminding them that faith and devotion can lead to spiritual bliss. Before concluding this discussion, let us briefly look into the aspects which we have discussed so far. This verse beautifully intervenes honey's physical and spiritual attributes, presents it as a symbol of divine wisdom, healing, and love by exploring its role in sacred rites in association with the gods and its universal healing properties. We see how honey serves as a metaphor for the divine's nurturing and transformative power. Lord Sri Venkateswara, as the protector of Dharma, is often compared to Amrita that emerged from the cosmic churning. His blessings, much like the sacred honey, offering as a naivedyam and abhishekam in almost all Hindu temples, including Tirumala temple, are said to grant spiritual healing, prosperity, and liberation from worldly sufferings. The honey abhishekam performed to the deities signifies the offering of divine nectar, emphasizing the purity, healing, and immortality. The symbolism of honey as a divine substance of healing, wisdom, and nourishment resonate deeply across spiritual traditions. From the Greek ambrosia to the Norse Mead of Poetry and the Vedic Madhu, honey represents the universal qualities of divine grace and enlightenment. In this context, Lord Venkateswara, as Bhava Roga Vaidya, embodies the highest form of healing, not only for the body but for the soul bonded by worldly struggles. His divine presence at Tirumala offers devotees spiritual cleansing and freedom from the cycles of suffering, much like honey's purifying essence. By seeking his blessings, one can experience both physical and well-being and ultimate liberation, that is moksha, affirming that divine love and grace remain the most profound remedies for life's challenges. I hope you have enjoyed this discussion. I request you, please forward discussion to your friends, relatives, and group people to know more about Hindu civilization and culture, especially on Lord Sri Venkateswara's mystical powers. Hope we will meet you in the next discussion on Lord Sri Venkateswara. Thank you. Thank you for viewing this channel.
तुलनीलतनो